In today's academic and professional environments, the ability to work in interdisciplinary teams is more important than ever. While this is often more explicit in vocational courses, it is equally critical in the contrasting non-vocational academic pathways of geography, biology, and Celtic and Gaelic. Our approach centered on the Isle of LEeWIS in the Outer Hebrides, an environment and tapestry of communities where geography, biology, and Celtic and Gaelic are deeply resonant. By designing a course that engaged and challenged students, staff, and external stakeholders, we co-created an interdisciplinary learning experience immersed in real-world dialogues and practices.
By co-designing the course with honours students, we created opportunities for them to explore how multiple disciplines intersect and contribute to real-world applications of their studies. By embedding learning in a real-world setting rather than a purely classroom-based environment, we created a more authentic and immersive experience. This not only enabled students to appreciate the methodologies and perspectives of different disciplines, but also sparked meaningful discussions about career pathways.
Using the Isle of LEeWIS as the foundation, we built layers of understanding of the space from the bedrock geology through to the plant, animal, and human communities and how they interact with the island landscape.
We wove the importance of historical understanding and modern cultural concerns through the residential to help create a holistic learning experience. Situation within a local community was key to accessing gatekeepers and gaining appreciation of the social, environmental, and historic fabric of the remote bilingual context in which our investigations were focused. The course design process followed 3 key stages. Firstly, a reflective preparation. Students participated in a series of supervised discussions where they reflected on their prior studies and identified topics that they could confidently teach to their peers. Second, an immersive lecture week. A 1-week period of lectures mainly delivered by the student partners themselves to build foundational knowledge across disciplines.
Finally, the residential field visit, a transformative 1-week visit to the Isle of LEeWIS.
Activities in LEeWIS included taking part in the Outer Hebrides Wildlife Festival, which was coordinated by the Bumblebee Conservation Trust through the Species on the Edge programme. Staff and students led Seashore Surprises on Dalmore Beach, where we helped members of the public to search for and identify intertidal invertebrates and seaweeds.
We were fortunate to encounter several rare indicator species, including the ghost moth using a moth trap, in addition to the larger poplar hawk moth, both excellent mobile indicators of a healthy environment. We found several great yellow bumblebees, an endangered species that relies on the macaque to breed.
We spent time in Storey visiting the Gaelic-speaking cafe, where everyone was encouraged to order in Gaelic, an immersive experience within the Gaelic-speaking community. For Gaelic students, the shared experience of Gaelic as a living language with peers from different disciplines promoted new conversations around the use and importance of language and place and enhanced the value of research into Gaelic place names.
All students engaged with peat coring and analysis at a peat restoration site, and took part in shore and boat-based surveys for cetaceans. Furthermore, we ingrained supporting local businesses into our university expenditure, staying in community-owned and managed hostels, shopping at local supply stores, and paid contributions from local participants for all aspects of the learning experience to avoid embedding the concept of extracted methodology with the students.
This included spending time at Aaron Lot, a traditional croft run by Donald McSween, the celebrity crofter, where he spent a morning visiting the animals and understanding more about the challenges of croft ownership, use and disuse, how modern technology is helping, and the conflicts over policy and development that are intrinsic to the small island communities.
Conversations between students and community members played a central role, providing insights to challenges faced from an island perspective. Many of these conversations highlighted how important community relations are to ensuring meaningful results from fieldwork, and the value of including local knowledge in developing, planning and executing research. Students understood that there can be a lack of trust within the community towards academics, and that collaborative and participatory work is needed to counter the taint of parachute science, where research takes place but excludes community voices and needs.
Students were intentionally placed into interdisciplinary teams, fostering mutual learning and collaboration. Working in an unfamiliar physical environment and living situation pushed everyone outside their comfort zones. However, the heightened awareness prompted by this situation led the group to capitalise on informal spaces and shared interests and experiences to build communication and develop agendas across disciplinary boundaries.
Throughout the week, I feel like I learnt a lot from the other disciplines. From general concepts and ways of thinking about things and seeing the landscape, to more specific vocabulary.
The interdisciplinary aspect of this course greatly impacted my learning to the extent of opening my eyes to methods that the other disciplines follow. For my course so far, fieldwork has been essentially non-existent, so I went into the residential week with zero fieldwork experience. This was slightly intimidating, but working with other staff and students from other disciplines really helped me settle into our work. After the course, I've included fieldwork into my own learning as a result of working with the other disciplines and seeing its importance. For my dissertation, I visited several sites because I now understand the importance of going and seeing these places for myself. I think working with each other, staff and students, all impacted us greatly by seeing firsthand how each discipline works and deals with problems. So much so that we realise many of these problems overlap and can be solved by working together.
At the end of the course, all participants collaborated to create a mind map reflecting on their experiences. This activity was a collaborative effort to formalise the outcomes from both staff and students. It gave an opportunity to bring together individual reflections and encouraged key themes to emerge that included shared experience and trust. The residential format fostered an environment where students felt comfortable engaging in open, interdisciplinary discussions.
Connection to place. Authentic engagement with stakeholders allowed students to experience the deep ties between cultural heritage, community pride, and environmental stewardship.
Redefining disciplinary identity. Students gained a renewed appreciation of their own disciplines and associated skill set while recognising the value of interdisciplinary approaches.
It was really exciting to see the personal growth of the students, both as individuals and as a team, to apply their expertise and to respond to first-hand interactions with community members.
Assigning interdisciplinary teams and completing reflective teamwork exercises from the very start was extremely important in establishing expectations and ensuring people would work with new colleagues. Finding a meaningful way to assess all students fairly is the next challenge, and student partner feedback has been helpful here.
Using a new portfolio of combined methods means that transferable skills can still be supported and developed, and the alignment of the methodology to the research question then allows for assessment of understanding of content from their discipline.
Based on discussion with the student partners, we've decided on a 3-component continuous assessment format that we believe is appropriate and constructively aligned.
First, there is a research proposal around a question identified by discussion during the field course. Second, an infographic or map presenting some aspect of their field course experience. And third, a scaffolded reflective journal that allows the individual student's perspective to be expressed with the support of a structured format.
Because this course required students to learn in a very different way, generating ideas through their applied experience, and asked them to move outside of what they were accustomed to during their degree programmes, having them involved in the design process right from the start was absolutely essential. Many of the student partners commented how realistic this experiment was in terms of real-world work experience, and also how they learned so much more than in a single discipline course in a short time from immersively experiencing the content and topics that were covered. I think that this is the closest that we as staff can get to seeing a course through a student's eyes.
Our project highlights the value of interdisciplinary experiential learning rooted in place and culture. By involving students as co-creators, collaborating across disciplines, and engaging with local communities, we created an authentic learning experience that was not only impactful, but also transformative.